Hello once again, and welcome to the Farm Science Review, where we're visiting with Luke Crumley of the Ohio
Corn and Wheat Growers Association.
And as we have a chance to visit once again, Luke, some of the things of policy that you're involved with are vitally important, and a lot of non-farmers may not know what goes involved for such things as the Farm Bill.
Yeah, and I'm one of those non-farmers. You know, I'm on staff with Ohio Corn and Wheat, but don't trust me to grow anything. Trust me to go to places like Columbus and Washington, D.C. on behalf of our growers and promote our top policy priorities. And Gary, welcome back to Farm Science Review. It's good to see you every year. When we're talking about farm policy, it's much more than just the Farm Bill, even though that's front and center right now. You know, Ohio Corn and Wheat just joined over 300 other organizations calling on Congress to pass a Farm Bill this year instead of kicking the can down the road. But beyond the Farm Bill, we've got really important issues here in Ohio, like land use change, tax policy, promoting biofuels and growing those domestic markets here in Ohio, and then also working on policy that's going to expand markets overseas. It all is important right now, and we are under the gun because our growers deserve the best representation from their trade associations and the best representation they can get in Columbus and Washington. Right now, policy isn't working for Ohio's farmers, and we got to change that. We got to make forward momentum on these really big issues if we're going to help these grain markets grow.
Well, as we talk, we have an upcoming election, and people say nothing gets done in an election year. How do you get by that?
Well, that's a junk argument. Things do get done. They just don't necessarily get done in the way you're taught in high school. You know, when we think about the legislative process, that what we're taught in school doesn't equate to what actually happens in the halls of Congress. And just last week I was in Washington, D.C., and even there's a lot of frustration about the Farm Bill and where we are or aren't right now. All of those folks are pulling with their colleagues to try to get momentum. It may not happen before Election Day, but we have a lot of days left in the legislative calendar to get something done, and that's what we're focused on.
Well, when you're talking policy, when you're talking getting some items in the Farm Bill put together, and you have politics in the background and affecting trade in some cases, how do you get around that?
Well, you focus on relationships, and that's what we're really good about, is making sure that we're placing our growers with their expertise in front of decision makers to talk about things like protecting crop insurance, maybe making it a little bit more efficient and more affordable for our growers, protecting those Title I programs, and promoting things like MAP and FMD. You brought up trade in the Farm Bill. The trade title is massively important because the dollars in that trade title have not been increased since George W. Bush was president. That's a long time ago in the world of inflation that we're facing right now. So we have built a huge coalition, and we have overwhelming bipartisan support to double those trade dollars in the Farm Bill. That's meaningful progress, but we still have to get the final legislation across the goal line, and that's what we're working on. It starts and ends with building relationships, so the people we need to be champions go out and do it and get their colleagues to take action too.
Coalition, as you alluded to, is important, and who do farmers, who are the people that they're able to make those alignments with?
Well, I think the first and foremost thing is no matter what you produce in this country, there's a trade association that represents your interests. And, you know, I'm here to wave the flag for Ohio Corn and Wheat. I think our members receive some of the best representation in the game through us and through our national partners, National Corn Growers, the National Association of Wheat Growers. And when you join as a member to your association for the crop or commodity that you produce, you help empower us to go act on your behalf and pursue these policies. So it starts there, and then from there, leverage those associations to get in front of the elected officials who you need to influence. And that's what we do for our members through programs where we take them out to Washington, D.C., or bring those legislators and those regulators to the farm here in Ohio.
So growing those total numbers.
Yeah. Membership is vitally important because those memberships support the lobbying activity that we do within our association. You can't use checkoff dollars for that activity. It's illegal. So every member that we bring into the fold helps equip us to go out and do that work more effectively.
And over the years, your association has been very successful.
Yeah. I am building on a lot of progress over a long time of really dedicated work from our growers. It was growers in Ohio who went to folks like then Senator Mike DeWine and said, we need the renewable fuel standard because we can produce this crop and we can produce this fuel that's going to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, save consumers money, and look at what we're reaping now 16 years later. That didn't happen without the growers. Membership matters, participation matters, being at the table matters. That's what we're here to help you do.
Well, if any potential members are watching right now, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
OhioCornandWheat.org. You can sign up and renew your membership right there on our website.
Well, Luke Crumley, thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Gary.
And stay with us, back with more when we continue with In Ohio Country Today.